The new world's tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster has begun testing, and we finally have official footage of it going round. I just can't believe it's real. Some new roller coasters have been opening their doors for the first time, including this one that has the strangest pre-launch show I have ever seen, and one of the world's best theme parks has started teasing their next big roller coaster, and it could be insane. It's been an interesting week because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, welcome back to the most consistent series in the world. This past week in theme parks, where we take a look at the theme park news around the world in the past 7 days. And as said, there is a lot of stories to go through. So if you want to skip to specific stories, be sure to use the video progress bar chapters below. And be sure to use that subscribe button down below too. These videos do take quite some time to create and research, so any support towards the channel and this series would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, it's time to get into another episode. Less than a week after the previous one. Damn, the consistency is just otherworldly now. This past hour in theme parks is going to start soon, but I thought I would bring this episode to you guys a bit earlier because this huge milestone that has been reached has finally been documented. For once, it's not been kept a secret, and I really want to show you guys and talk about it, but there is so much to show you and talk about before that. So let's get into the quickfire news segment. Here we go. Starting in the motherland of the UK. Finally, we're starting here for once, where a newly renovated version of a very intense flat ride called Time Machine at Adventure Island in Southend has been busy testing before it officially opens. And if you've never done that ride before, don't do it if you don't like really intense rides. I think it is the most intense ride I've ever been on. Over at Alton Towers, they are busy building their brand new roller coaster for 2026, the new CBeebies Land shortest roller coaster in the world that we have no idea about, but the entire plot of land where Postman Pat used to be and where that coaster is going has been completely cleared now. Some sad news coming out of Alton Towers as well, as Bianca Sammet, the divisional director, has announced she'll be stepping down from her role at Towers in September, which genuinely is really sad for the park. I mean, when I first saw some of the posts about it, I thought she died because they all used a black and white photo of her. But having met Bianca on multiple occasions, she was an absolutely amazing person and she had the best interests for the park. She actually cared a lot about the rides that have been neglected in the past and made some amazing decisions to help the park's future. But without Bianca now, I'm kind of scared about Alton Towers. But once again, a massive thank you to Bianca for not only being an amazing person, but for helping out the park so much. But talking of our UK parks, and this story comes out of a park that's not in the UK, but has something to do with one here, because that makes so much sense. Legoland Windsor have a roller coaster or two called Minifigure Speedway, and they're two racing roller coasters that go down the hillside. Well, Legoland Billund Resort in Denmark has announced it's going to be getting two roller coasters in 2026 called Minifigure Speedway. We can now share the record of the second biggest Lego minifigure in the world with Denmark. What a time to be alive. In Europe as well, Walygator in France has put a brand new train on its roller coaster Anaconda, and funnily enough, it looks like an anaconda. Would you believe it? But that actually does look quite funny on a wooden roller coaster especially. Over in Spain at Portaventura World, some fences have been put up around the area of Mexico, in this sort of area here behind Hurricane Condor, for something new in the future. I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know how big that land is. Maybe it's big enough for a coaster, a 400-foot one to beat themselves at Europe's tallest again, but that space could be used for something very cool over the next couple years. Over in Germany at Potts Park, we have some strange names for theme parks in the world, don't we? Brausen Saus has opened a brand new family coaster from ART Engineering, and this thing cost 4 million euros, which is really cheap for how big of a ride this is, because as you can see, it's sort of a swing launch style ride that goes backwards through the station and then goes straight through into a layout with a middle of the ride launch again, then doing a spike and doing it all backwards. Reminds me a lot of Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington, although this one's probably a lot less bumpy. But that ride does look great, although it does have one of the strangest pre-launch sections I think I've ever seen, with some sort of projection or screen right above you and then just elephants front and behind to your left and right. Maybe that one's up there with the Jesus coaster and the Capybara coaster, but that is awesome to see. And staying in Germany for now, Europa Park have been busy teasing a brand new ride potentially coming very soon. God, we're getting some big news from big Europe theme parks because they have stuck a Mack Extreme spinning coaster train from Silver Dollar City from Time Traveler. I mean, there is one a lot closer to you than over in America, so I don't know why they didn't just take a Ride to Happiness train. But there's been various talk about what that means for the next ride. Everyone thinking Euromere is going to be completely demolished and replaced with this new thrill coaster, but I have a bit more information for you because in an interview with Michael Mack, who's part of the Mack family, he said what's coming is the overhaul of Euromere. It won't be completely demolished, but there will be a new layout with a 360-degree approach similar to Voltron, and also mentions the fact that he would have started the project already if he could, but Roland Mack doesn't want to yet and assumes they will start in about 3 years. So basically we're getting a new Romere, potentially keeping something like the spiral lift hill. If you don't know, there's just an indoor section that just goes up and up and up and oh no, we're still going until it reaches the top and does quite a few different like turns and stuff. Maybe they'll keep some of them, but I think the layout will be drastically overhauled, maybe with inversions and stuff. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see in those 3 years that might be when it happens. As we head over to Universal Studios Japan, which has got some weird new ride opening that seemingly no one knew about, Snoopy's Flying Ace Adventure, and that is going to open on the 18th of July. Looks like this. Yeah. I feel like we've got too many Snoopy roller coasters opening. I can't keep up with them all. Over in the US of A now, play an eagle sound effect. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay have previewed their brand new area called Wild Oasis, and it's a kid-friendly rides and family area with this really cool looking drop tower that has some screens around it, some water play features, and also some climbing frame equipment. It does look like a really nice little kids area. What also looks like a really nice ride is Steel Curtain at Kennywood when it's actually open, because as much as it was supposed to reopen very recently, it did, but closed again for quite some time. It's had a lot of problems, and it appears to be back open now, but only very recently did that happen. In the past week it happened, and supposedly it's now more rough than it was before, which is fantastic. A Frontierland sign has returned to Magic Kingdom in Florida, because you really wanted to know that. Orlando business leaders say Universal Orlando may be looking to partner with the Boring Company on a tunnel that goes along International Drive. Okay. This also happened at Universal's Islands of Adventure. I don't think you can park there. And there has been some worries about Millennium Force over at Cedar Point. The huge Intamin Giga Coaster, not quite as good as the one at Isle of Discovery, am I right? So that insane looking ride had a few rumours around it recently, saying that it could be scrapped very soon, but that was all a lie. But it may be worth keeping an eye on it because there might be the chance it closes next year or maybe the year after for a full refurbishment from Intamin. And with that being said, let's head up to Canada. Here we go. Oh, we've had so many different travelling methods in these episodes now. Up to Canada for Alpenfury at Canada's Wonderland, the tallest, fastest and longest launch roller coaster in Canada. We're going to talk about the tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster ever in the world very soon. So that seems a little less impressive. It's got 9 inversions on it and it sports this very nice ice cold colour. And it actually opened on the 12th of July. A very unexpected opening date. They literally announced it 2 days before. I don't think that major of a ride has had its opening day announced that soon beforehand, but fair play to them for getting it open, because even from that day that they announced it, it was still opening for technical rehearsals as well. So people have managed to ride it, and a lot of people are actually saying it is way more intense than it looks, which I could kind of see because of the amount of speed it has going into some of those inversions, especially that top hat at the start. It flies through that by the end of the day, so it looks amazing. Very happy for Canada's Wonderland that they got that open when they did, and hopefully I'll be able to ride it at some point soon. But I can't ride it for now, so I've got to deal with the POV that they released and watch that and just act like I'm there. What? But the reason you clicked on this video, the reason you might have kept watching from last week if you're new here, is because Falcon's Flight, the world's tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster that is opening this year, has begun testing, and we finally have some footage of the POV and some off-ride shots of it going down that cliff drop and up the airtime hill, the 2 tallest elements on any roller coaster in the world. And we're going to get onto the snippets of that POV in just a sec. What was that? Sounded like a fighter jet. No, that's the sound of Falcon's flight's launch, and I'm not even joking. Obviously, we have Taron at Fantasyland. That launch sounds like a race car. It sounds incredible. Red Force also sounds like a jet when it takes off, but that one just sounds unbelievable. Just from the sound alone, I can't believe this thing is real. And just wait until I watch the POV. But this official POV and snippets video wasn't the first footage we saw of this ride testing, because we did see a video on TikTok just randomly pop up showcasing the ride going over that airtime hill, and at first it just didn't look real. I mean, nowadays anything might not be real, it might be AI, and that's what I thought that was. But no, it is real. It goes over that airtime hill with so much speed, and I was so excited to see the actual official video, which we then got, and we're going to watch it now, and then afterwards I'm going to go through and sort of detail stuff, because as you can see, it is turning out the station, and then we cut straight to that first lift hill that is very quick. As you can see, it's like a launch, and we go over these nice airtime hills before the cliff climb itself. That is ridiculous to see. Then we go around a little bit at the top before it hangs over the edge. And that's mental. Dropping down into another launch right here. Yeah, that is just insane. Going up the airtime hill. Well, that is a cool view. I wish I could have that view. Seems a bit dangerous, but I'd love that. Got the huge airtime hill view there. And then it goes around the final sections of the ride before making its way into the brake run. Six Flags Quiddiya City. But let's go through this POV or video very, very slowly to check out some of the details we might have missed. First of all, the station building that we're in right now, and we're going to take a right turn out of it. You can see the massive looking gyro swing in the background and the wooden coaster behind that. So I just can't believe the scale of the rides in this park. And then climbing the lift hill right there, as you can see, a nice twisted drop. I don't think that's going to have too much airtime going over that hill, but the swooping elements afterwards are quite nice. The little airtime hill at the end that cuts off. This is going too fast. That cliff climb is ridiculous. Like, look how big that is for a launch. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the world's longest launch track, or the one at the bottom of the drop is as well. Just insane how it has so much speed going up, and then it reaches the top quite slowly, it seems, actually, going over that hill. But you've got some nice twists and turns, and you've got that little outer bank that goes over the side of the cliff that's going to be scary. Can't use swear words to describe that, but you get what I mean. And yeah, just that drop over the cliff. The fact it's trimmed is a little bit upsetting, but it's obviously understandable. You're literally just going to hang on the front row, face down, just facing the cliff edge and facing the tunnel below. Look down. And then it's going to drop all the way through the tunnel and just have so much launch straight again, and then make its way up into that airtime hill. Yeah, that is just bonkers. And again, you saw how big that wooden coaster looked against the gyro swing even. Look how small it looks in this shot. Just insane. And then you've got those last swooping turns, which do look a little bit slow, and I would assume it might be trimmed coming off of the airtime hill. But then again, it is a first test run, so it could just be running a bit slower than usual, and eventually we're going to see it running full pelt. And hopefully we see a POV of this thing fully very, very soon. And hopefully I'll get to see it and show you guys at some point in the next couple weeks. Fair play to Intamin for building something that big and that just insane. I wouldn't have thought of any other manufacturer to do it other than them. So yeah, big up to Intamin. And big thank you to you guys for watching all the way through if you have done. Be sure to subscribe if you want to stay tuned for future This Past Week in Theme Parks news and content just like this. Can you also not believe your eyes seeing that testing footage like Icon? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and again, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching. Oh, I am gone. Oh, no episode next week then, guys.